Welcome to another episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Eli Hawkins. What's up, man?
Always a pleasure, brother.
How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm just off a 12-hour shift, at it for 20 something days or whatever, but it's all good. Can't complain. I'm alive, making money, healthy.
Yeah. So you have a crazy story, man. You spoke about a little bit of it on our last episode, and last time when we last left off, you haven't gone overseas yet, but we're getting to
Oh,
that, right?
okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah, I just was coming off that fight there and the extra duty and
yeah,
restriction there.
watering the
Planting plastic flowers.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was all leading up to getting ready to go over to Kuwait there for the intrinsic action. I missed that 4-day weekend there with 4th of July, but I did go home like a weekend or two before we ended up going. We left August 15th. It was a couple days after my birthday, so I went over there at 19.
What was going through your mind when they said you're gonna go overseas? Were you thinking like, damn, I'm gonna be in a war and all that, or what was going through your mind?
I didn't really think much about it. Like we had been planning this for 6 months or something already. It was kind of like so what people don't realize is that when you go over to an area like that, I mean, they might now, but back then they might not have understood that when the U.S. goes over to an area and they occupy that area there, say for a situation like Desert Storm, we don't really leave. We maintain our presence there, and so it's basically it ends up being like a um, peacekeeping mission and whatnot. And so that's what we were supposedly kind of to be a part of. Although I know that they're kind of gearing up because those inspectors were looking at the Saddam stash for say like WMDs and whatnot, and having the chemicals and the plants that were operating as far as producing nukes and whatnot. So
So was it
we
was it like a culture shock when you got there?
so we were preparing for about 6 months. We were supposed to go in February. We didn't go. We ended up going in August. And it was really interesting, getting prepped and getting ready and whatnot, making sure all our shit was packed and all our gear was packed and tanks and all that stuff was ready for the train to be put on the train and whatnot to get flown over there. And so the thing is that being part of like a unit, like I was part of like 3rd Infantry Division, they're called what's a crack unit. So you can be anywhere in the world and boots on the ground and ready and set up in less than 18 hours. And so you got to stay training for something like that. And so we ended up over there. And the funniest thing was, so the plane ride was real cool. It was just a plane ride. A lot of times, that was the longest flight most of us had been on for our first time. I can't remember how long it was, maybe like 18 or 20 hours or some I don't know, something crazy. But got over there and got off the plane. Man, I'd never been in a climate like this. And stepped off the plane. We were behind the engine. We stepped off and we were like, man, that engine's hot. A lot of heat coming off that engine. Shit, we got about 100, 200 yards away from that plane. And its temperature was the same. And we were thinking like, man, that wasn't the engine. We're in some serious shit. This is going to be, how long we're going to be in this bullshit for,
Oh man.
It was hot, man. It was, we were over there. I remember we were over there for one of the records. It got up to like 130 or 140 something.
You're like cooking alive with all that stuff on.
At first we got staged. We had to draw our equipment from the motor pool, and then we went out to the cabal. And yeah, man. So the thing is, you had to make sure that we stay hydrated. A lot of people didn't, because in that type of heat, you don't see you don't perspire, so you don't get to see your sweat. Like anywhere else where it's somewhat humid, you start working out a little bit, you're moving around, you start getting a little, your shirt starts to get wet and whatnot. You see the droplets and whatnot on your skin, but over there it's so hot it just evaporates out of your skin, so you stay dry for the most part. So you don't really know that you're losing the water. Next thing you know, you fall out, you got yourself a heat injury.
Yeah. There was a lot of people that was happening to.
There's a few. There's a few that fucked around and found out, about making sure they drank their water.
I mean, even something as little as walking in the sand with bare feet, probably burn your feet, right?
Yeah, it was super hot. Yeah, that sand would be really hot, but you didn't do that though, because there's these pit vipers over there, and the camel spiders and whatnot, so a lot of people are city kids. They're not interested in dealing with that type of shit.
So you were involved with the tank division, right?
Yeah, 464 armor
And
Tuskers.
You heard stories about things that happened in the tank division. Do you want to tell the people about the stories that you heard?
Well, the thing is that they had that highway of death over there. It was really interesting because we got to travel that road, and you got to see all the dead tanks, dead vehicles and whatnot. Where some of those A-10 Warthogs went down that road there and blew up all the shit, and then some of our tanks took out those vehicles. So all these vehicles were pulled off to the side of the road and still just left there. So you got to see all the destruction that was there. It was real interesting there.
So when you guys went there, like, what was your goal? Like when you go and you go into the base, what was the steps that they took?
Well, we got over there, we got accounted for. We drew our equipment from the yard. Like I said, we didn't even stay a day. Maybe we stayed one day, possibly. I really believe that we just drew our equipment and we drove out to the Cabal at the time. It was just a man-made, we had some berms, the big square, and we had the division out there. So we had a couple of different units out there and whatnot. And that's where we are. We were just set up, man. It was just basically our occupying the area there, our presence. So most days we just sat around. We didn't do too much. We hit the gym. We did our PT in the morning for the most part every other day. We got ourselves set up, digging filling up sandbags and making foxholes and shit like that, man. Setting up our tents. Just getting our AO set up and squared away, basically.
Was there any situations that maybe happened that stand out in your mind when you went there?
Nothing real serious, just some crazy, some shit that probably shouldn't have happened. Well, so we were out there. I was out there for August to the end of almost to the end of till December 31st. And in that time, we had what was called Desert Fox. Most people have never heard of this operation, but it's when the UN is during the Clinton administration, when the UN inspectors were not allowed in to take a look at the operations of Iraq there, producing weapons,
nuclear weapons. Yeah.
Yep. And people can go online. They can look up Desert Fox. As far as just type in military Desert Fox, you can see the operation that that was conducted over there. And that did not happen until December. So we were there from August. So we're just kind of hanging out there for a few months, just basically occupying the area just in case for the most part. And then we were supposed to take off, spent Christmas there, and then we ended up having to go back out for a few weeks. And that's when we ended up bombing them. So they
bombed them when you were gone, when they bombed them?
No, I was there.
Oh, I was there.
Yeah, and it was pretty interesting, seeing these airplanes overhead and some of the artillery that was launched
You
in.
feel the ground shake when they would drop them.
No, but you can hear the shit being launched over through the air there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you told me a couple stories about things. Did you ever hear a bunch of different like stories about, oh, this could happen or this happened when with these guys? Like I don't know how to explain it, man. Like, because you were in the tank. Have you heard of any accidents happening or anything like
Oh,
that?
well, that's a safety that's a safety brief period. Anyways, things definitely happen. People can get squished between tanks, or they're not paying attention. They end up under the tank, and the track gets traversed. They end up getting ground up in the track or whatnot, or you're crawling through the hull to the turret. Someone traverses the turret, get chopped in half. I mean, these things have happened.
Yeah.
So we always have a safety briefing. We just try to practice safety. Safety is the first measure of anything. Good. Good to anybody if you're dead or fucked up. So, the main thing is to try to keep all the personnel healthy and at full operation, full
Yeah,
capacity.
man. Hey, yo, this is for Lee Cole, this little ticker here. So if anyone here, man, cash apps right here. If anyone wants to donate to the
Yeah,
Chatting with
shoot this guy.
Staxx
Shoot this guy some money. He's not up here doing this shit for free. Help him grow his business.
People think I'm doing this. People think, I don't even know, man. I don't know what they think. I strive for greatness, man. That's it. But anyway, once you're over there, what ended up transpiring, man?
Well, the thing is that we're a bunch of young kids, and none of us has been this far away from home before. And at that duration of a time. So people start, I mean, people were doing shit like falling out. Man, the one guy ended up breaking his arm, or I can't remember, breaking his hand or something on purpose so he could get sent home.
What? They're
Yeah,
doing
I
things
mean,
like that.
man, people do all kinds of stuff to get out of
Shoot yourself.
the military and stupid stuff, man. Piss in the bed, piss in the bed. I mean, come on. So, but like I said, none of us have been away from home this long, especially in a situation like this. So, um, you start getting homesick. And people start to miss family. So, but anyways, we still got phones and pay phones and whatnot. You can still have phone cards and things like that, to be able to call home, call long distance and whatnot.
And it was a
So,
lot, right, to call your home?
I mean, I don't know what the cost was per minute,
Like for
but
you, if you just being a soldier over there, did you have to buy a card and then go through this process to call home every time?
right, yeah. So you might buy like a $20 or $30 or $5, $10 phone card or whatever, prepaid phone card. You dial it up, and then you get to talk for however many minutes that card you purchased for allowed you to.
Yeah.
But so some people that have maybe been in the military and had a little bit of rank, they had a little more prestige and some money, so they had these like a regular phone credit card that you could charge the minutes to, and it was open ended. And
Yeah,
this
but
one kid,
it's not like prepaid. It's like a credit
no,
card.
right, exactly. It's not prepaid, so there's a limit to it. It could be $10,000, $5,000. Like a regular credit card. These phone companies used to give out.
Mhm.
And so there was one kid that was can't remember if he was a loader or a driver on a tank. Anyways, you know how the tanks, there's 4 people to a tank. Usually an E6 or E7 is the tank commander. You have an E5 as the gunner. or specialist, and then any other rank is loader and driver for the most part. Anyways, you had this driver, and there's this E6 sergeant, man. He the glasses with the nose on him, the nerd,
Yeah,
the nerd.
yeah.
This guy looked like this was fabricated from his face, you know. I'm telling you, the guy looked
You have the mustache
looked really nerdy, man. It was, it's horrible. Even talking to the guy, just looking at him, you couldn't help but have this image in your head and laugh, you know. But this driver got I don't know if the sergeant out of his graces let him use this card and he copied the number, or he took it out of his wallet or something. I don't know. But anyways, this kid got a hold of the credit card and he passed it around to the rest of us, you know.
How long were you there at that point?
This would have been 4 months. So that tension of wanting to be home and being able to talk to your girlfriend and parents or family members, this shit was building up. And so anyways, we're back at the base. It's Camp Doha for anybody, any military people that have in that duration of time remember that camp there and Frosties and whatnot. So we're at Camp Doha, and this is before we have to go out, before we start bombing them. We're all set to go. We're all set to return home. And so we think we're going home, and then we get the notification that we're going out. Some shit started, and we're going back out. So everyone's going to go make phone calls to their loved ones and tell them their goodbyes and, whatever they have to say.
Because you guys are thinking like, damn, this could be it, right?
It could be. You never know. You never know how it's going to escalate. You don't know how it's going to escalate. And a lot of us were concerned that was going to be our last time. I mean, you just don't know, you know?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's a legitimate concern at that time.
Yeah. So anyways, this kid has this guy's credit card number, or however that thing works, I don't know, and passed it around. And we took advantage of that situation of not having to spend our money, which we didn't really have money anyways, for the lower ranking guys. And a lot of guys made some phone calls home, called their girlfriends, called their mothers and whatnot. And then I got a hold of the number, and I just went fucking ape shit with it, man. I remember I sat in this booth for about 8 hours all night. I mean, the thing is this, it's like when I love to the core. and I was definitely concerned about me not coming back home. I remember my brother still talks about it to this day. He's like, yeah, that was the craziest phone call I ever got from you, because I had called him. I said, yeah, man, I might not come back home. I love you. I told him all the things to do with his life, the things not to do, and to follow this path and this, that, and the other. And man, it's kind of conjuring some feelings up in me right now.
It brings you right back to then, right?
Yeah, man, because it's like you're in that moment of you're preparing yourself, like you're getting ready to not come back home. And it's the last time you saw the people that you love is the last time you saw them. There's not going to be another.
A lot of people. I'm sure there's a lot of people like that have been through the same situation as you, like that, man.
Right, I'm sure they can relate. So you just try to give you have your best people's best interests at heart, especially for your loved ones, and you just want to tell them all the right things and whatnot, and because you don't know if you're going to be there in the future to help them see those things through. So, but I got to end up getting on the phone with my lady at the time, and I stayed on that fucking thing for like 7 or 8 hours.
Probably thousands of dollars, man.
So I don't know, man. You know, I called my brothers, I called my parents, I called my girlfriend, and I stayed on this fucking phone for like 7 or 8 hours. And that shit wasn't enough. I went back and did it the next day.
Oh,
So I've racked up a total of like 15 hours from the other side of the world in Kuwait back to Kalamazoo, Michigan for the most part. And you remember long distance phone calls at the time, I mean, they were a pretty penny. And
bro,
depending on how,
tons of money.
and then you're talking about international phone call. And can you imagine some fucking guy staying on the phone for 7 or 8 hours at this rate, you know?
And it's probably,
Anyways,
I'm talking like 5 minutes is probably insane.
right. You know, so 5 minutes was probably shit, I don't know, $10 at the time, maybe
Yeah.
something like that. Anyways, I stayed on this thing for probably a total of 15 hours. I went back and tried to use it again, and shit was cut off. And I was like, damn, okay. So we end up going out. We end up having to go out for like a week or 2 weeks while they were bombing and everything. When we get back, the first sergeant calls a few of us to attention, basically. And it was brought to his attention. So they had, you had the report of all the phone calls of where they went, you know. So they started grabbing all these, asking everybody where we're from, so they could get an idea of who made these phone calls, man. Well, the thing is that I mean, I definitely was the one that like fucked it up for everybody, because I was on that bitch for like 15 fucking hours. While, some people are on the phone for 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. They made a quick phone call, man. And I stayed on that fucker all night long, so anyways.
So you basically put the smoke signal to
The total of this, I remember clear as day. The total of this bill was like over $5,000, and they're gonna charge us with grand theft.
Wow.
I mean,
yeah, but tell them what happened though when they.
So, anyways, man. So we get word that this happened, and so we all come up with a story that in the bathroom stalls, people write down, if you want to have a good time, call this number and all this bullshit. We come up with some bullshit story like that the number was just placed on the wall. If you want to call home, use this number. And we heard one of the like E6, E7 say, yeah, I'm going to go check so we came up with a story. We're all supposed to stick with it. And so we heard that they're going to go, that they were buying the story, that they were going to go check. So one of us we decided both of us were going to run over there and write down the numbers on the wall there.
Yeah, so you weren't. So you're not lying.
So when they went to go check, that we weren't fucking lying about it, right? So I remember hauling ass there to the phone booth, because we only had they were going. I mean, this was all in the process. I mean, they hit us in a way that we couldn't do anything about it for the most part. So one of us, two of us actually dipped out, ran over to this phone booth area, and wrote these numbers down and came back. And all of us, we stuck to the story and we got by. But man, my boy King that I was telling you about last time, him and another person did not stick to the story. And they ended up getting caught, man. It was so funny because I just spoke to my boy King like a couple weeks ago. And we were reminiscing about our time over there, and he's like, "Man, that's some fucking bullshit, man." I said, He said, "I call home, nobody even picks up. I just get the voice message machine. I wasn't even on the phone fucking 30 seconds. Here I am getting the Article 15 for this shit. You're
what
on the
ended
phone
up happening to him? What's an Article 15?
Well, like last time, he ended up getting like 14 days extra duty and 14 days restriction. Didn't even talk to his family, And the rest of us that stick to the story, like I said, I was on that fucker for like 15, 16 hours,
Yeah.
So, Rest of us didn't get hit with anything, and I don't know how or why he ended up getting caught, man. But maybe he just, I don't know what he said. You know, the rest of us stuck to it. We had a couple E5s in the group that were part of it as well, and so we just followed them and followed what they had to say. They hooked us up, you know. None of us got in trouble except for the guys that did stick to the story. So,
So is that it for like major events happening while you were over there, or is there anything else that really comes to mind?
Nothing really nothing really, man. You know, it was like I said. You know, Desert Fox was a really small operation. I mean, it was large. I mean, shit, man. We were bombing them and whatnot. You know, yeah, that was cool, man. Meeting President Bush was really cool, man. Can't say all about that, you know, but it was pretty interesting meeting him. It was really cool. We chatted for a minute or so, and I really appreciated.
Shout out to Damien.
I really appreciated meeting him. The other thing is, I wish I had a picture of it, man, to send you. I ended up on CNN.
Yeah,
which is really cool. Yeah, I do have some pictures from that. And when I get home, I'm gonna pull those out, and you know, we'll have another talk about this another time. And
didn't you do private security?
I did. Yeah, I've done some privacy. I've done some personal protection, some executive protection and whatnot.
Where was this picture?
Puerto Rico during Hurricane Maria. Yeah, that was on working for an energy company called Mammoth and Cobra Energy, and they had me on the CEO there for a little bit, which was Keith Ellison. And then after that, I got put onto the flight operations manager because we got put over all the way to the other side of the island. And the flight operations manager took a look into my fighting background and my military background and said that I was the one that he wanted out of all the people that were there, which was really cool. The interesting thing is though he had done that stuff before. Matter of fact, he was in the Army as well. He was in 82nd Airborne. Shout out to my man Dylan Sisson. Really good guy. Now he ran some operations over in Afghanistan as well. Yeah, he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I want you with me. I know, you know, he pulled my 201 file, he pulled my military jacket basically, and saw my background and wanted me with him. So that was cool.
Was there any close calls when you were in that job? When you were working that job or anything?
Yeah, there were some real interesting things. I mean, there's people down there shooting stuff off all the time. I mean, it was just kind of really, there's a lot of uncertainty there. There's a lot of uncertainty there because they just got hit with that hurricane. Like there was no power, there's no water.
Like people running around trying to get whatever they can, right? The basic necessities.
Well, the thing is that working for that power company, we had a lot of equipment trucks and generators and supplies supplies that people would want. They were trying to take those and whatnot. Some people were getting robbed while we were down there. About 3,000 police quit. Crime rate skyrocketed. It was real interesting. Yeah. And so there's some situations that took place down there. No, I'm not a SEAL. And I'm Army.
No. You from Minnesota?
All Army. And matter of fact, we took over a landing strip in Salinas, Puerto Rico, which happened to be, hey, what's up, brother? Which happened to be one of Pablo Escobar's drop points back in the 80s. And that was pretty interesting.
Listen, bro, if I got one viewer, I'm happy with that. So it's all good. I'm happy where I'm at, bro.
That was pretty interesting. But the interesting thing, though, the real crazy thing that came out of that situation in Puerto Rico there was the power company that we were working for, Keith Ellison. Now, my man Dylan, he had been done. He had done this stuff before. He pulled me. He wanted me with him. He wanted the best that was, the best that was there. And he said, "Yeah, man, I'm going to keep you out here with me for one, because he said I know what you're about, and two, I don't want you getting caught up in the shit that they got going on back there." And so he said, "Then this thing is done. These guys are getting arrested." So, anybody listen, just look this up. Look up Keith Ellison, Puerto Rico. The guy got federally indicted for stealing millions of dollars from FEMA.
He did, right?
And yeah, he stole millions. He stole $1 million.
It's not the same guy.
Keith Ellison,
The prosecutor.
no,
That's
no,
the guy's
no, no. But
name.
that name is it's exactly. Look up. I think it's Michael Keith Ellison. Just type in Keith Ellison Cobra Energy, and you'll see it, man. It'll come up, man. And then you just type in Puerto Rico mercenaries. That stuff will come up down there. So
I changed the time of this interview by an hour, man. That's probably why. I was supposed to do this interview at 10 o'clock, but I changed it to 9.
Damn. So yeah, man, he ended up getting federally indicted, whatnot. None of us got in trouble, but it was pretty crazy, man. I got to send you some of those videos of me. Well, I mean, you had some of those pictures there.
Yeah.
With me flying around in the helicopter. I was all over the island, was surveying stuff and whatnot. But my thing was to protect those guys that were in charge of restoring the power back to Puerto Rico.
So how did
I had
get
a damn time good doing that.
How did you get involved with making films and being an actor?
Oh man, doing films and whatnot, man, had always been a dream of mine. And modeling and all this type of stuff, man. Just to be in the limelight, basically, just to be a star. I think a lot of people have those type of aspirations and whatnot, but don't know where to start. Don't know how. I did a few things for some in Boston when I was living out there in Boston Magazine. And then my very first movie I did, I was an extra there. It was for The Game Plan with The Rock. It was filmed out there in Foxborough Stadium. And I was out there for 2 or 3 days. I was in the stands screaming and hollering for like 12 hours for like $8 an hour. And then I saw the movie, and I was that little blip up in the corner. And I was like, man,
you're rewinding it.
I was like, fuck this. I'm never doing this shit again, So I was really discouraged after that. But then Here Comes the Boom with Kevin James and Selma Hayek came to Boston, and they put a thing out to the different gyms that they were looking for fighters. And I auditioned, and I beat out probably about, maybe somewhere around like 2,000 people. And I had 4 different auditions, and it was really cool. There's a guy there that was doing the acting scenes and whatnot. He has this eye patch on his eye. I forgot his name right now, but he's in that movie with the guy that plays Wolverine with the robots and fighting the robot wars or whatever. You can see him. He's featured in that movie. He's got this patch over his eye. But anyways, he's a director or whatever the case may be. I remember I showed up in a suit because I was taking it that serious. I remember he asked me, he's like, "Oh man, you got to go to work or something, or did you dress up like this for the audition?" And man, I was so damn scared to tell him the truth, man. I told him, I said, "Oh, I'm going to work like this." I wasn't going to work. I just took my job so serious like that. And I think he found it real interesting. But anyways, I gave 4 auditions, and they ended up selecting me. So they select me, and I'm just fucking ecstatic about this shit, man. Because it's like, hey, here's my big break. And so it's not an extra role. It's an actual principal role. It's paying $1,000 a day. And so then I'm talking to wardrobe over the course of 4 months, getting ready. and I know my role. I'm an extra fighter in that. I'm a fighter in there for a fight scene, and I start training my ass off. And man, I got more in shape for this than I did ever for my fights. I trained harder for this more than I did my fights. And
your legacy, man, will be there forever.
Well, it was really cool, man. I was so excited about it. It's like, here's my shot, and I wasn't gonna break it, So
yeah.
Finally comes day for filming, and I ride my motorcycle down there. I show up a little bit late. I'm real nervous. I think I probably fucked up. And so I walk onto the set, and there's a bunch of people sitting at some table filling out some papers. And I was kind of skeptical about it. And I walked over and I asked, "Oh, what's this table for?" And they said, "Oh, this is for if you want to be in the movie. If you were ready to be an extra, go ahead and fill this paper out." I started feeling weird. I had these flashbacks from doing the game plan with The Rock, doing that shit. I said I'd never do again. I started feeling weird. And I was like, no, fuck this shit. I started getting really like nervous and uncomfortable there. And then right at that time, some lady walks out in a headset and a microphone. And I asked her, I said, "Hey, what's going on?" I was supposed to be in this movie. She said, "What's your name?" And she says, I said, "Eli Hawkins." And she said, and she had the mic right here. She said, she turns to the mic. She said, "Hey, we found him. He's right here. I got him right here." Man, my head was like, boom, right?
You're like, the star has arrived.
And she's like, "Oh, we've been looking for you. We've been looking for you this whole time." She's like, "Come this way." So she takes me through the whole fucking set, through the whole building that they have sectioned off. It's like a fucking half a city block. They got sectioned off, And I was like, shit. And we're walking through, and I'm kind of meeting some people just along the way, and then I get to the trailer, and I got this. They got on the door. They got my name on there. I got my own dressing room. My head grows even larger. I'm like, holy shit, I've arrived. I've arrived,
yeah.
I've arrived. And she shows this is the wardrobe you'll be wearing and everything. She's like, "Yeah, let me take you to the makeup trailer." So as we're walking, some old man's walking towards us. And she's like, hey. And so my head's fucking gassed at this point.
I don't know. I was so picture. I don't know if I have the picture in here. I'm gonna try to get it.
So my head is gassed at this point, right?
Yeah.
And I was so nervous about being just an extra and being some little blip on the screen, not being seen or anything like that. And so we're walking to the makeup trailer. Some old man is walking towards us. And she says, "Henry, let me introduce you to Eli Hawkins." And my head's I'm so focused and in tuned and turned. I'm reading into every little fucking thing that happens. There's probably a fault of being in the military a little bit and whatnot. Is that I'm so focused on
hold on. This is Henry, right? We're gonna bring up Henry's picture and see
every single detail.
See if they could recognize Henry.
Yes.
So this is Henry on the set.
Yes.
And Eli doesn't recognize Henry.
So she's like, "Henry, let me introduce you to Eli Hawkins." And I'm paying attention in my head. I'm buying into it. It was, "Henry, let me introduce you to Eli Hawkins," not "Eli, let me introduce you to Henry." Whatever the fuck that means, I guess. But it made sense to me in my head at that time, Yeah. And so she says this, and I'm just like, "Hi, old man," in my head, I didn't understand. I didn't think anything about it, the significance of it. And so we get to the makeup trailer. And she starts fucking with me and this and the other. And then she's like, "Oh, did you meet Henry yet?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, yeah. And then she spun the chair around, looked me in the eye, was like, yeah? Like that's what you have to say? And I was like, uh-huh. Like I didn't understand where she was coming with from this. She was like, you meet the Fonz, and all you can say is yeah. And then I was like suspended animation. I was like, so like young Fonzie and this old man right here, their face kind of superimposed on each other. And I was like,
Yeah.
Fuck, you know? I was like, oh, you shithead motherfucker, you know, you're an asshole. I jumped up out of the chair. I know he was still out there. I was like, Henry, I was like, oh man, hey, so nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. All this shit, man. You know, I tried to recover that one, you know. But yeah, that was later on in the night, man. I connected with him. We talked for about 45 minutes or so. It was pretty cool, you know. It was real interesting. I got to meet Bass Rutten on there, you know. I got to sit in the director's chair. I actually ended up coordinating the fight scene that I did.
What was it? In like a cage or something? I saw in that picture in the background, you could see.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I was in the cage there, and it was really cool, man. I had a really good time filming that. Actually, to be honest with you, filming that was a lot harder than any of the fights that I had. Doing 30, doing something like, I don't know, maybe 20 takes a night or something like that, 20, 30 takes, which was real crazy. You know, it's filmed, you know, my scene was filmed. My scene was filmed like, you know, took probably from like 2 o'clock to like 6 o'clock or some shit like that. You know, it's like 4 hours worth of filming for just that one scene there. But here's the crazy shit that really kind of, I mean, it didn't have any bearing on anything, but so they got this thing called the craft table, and they feed you really well there. They got this thing called the craft table. Anything you could want, at least at this filming, they had all kinds of like turkey, the sandwich meat, vegetables, fruit snacks, all type of candy you wanted, drinks, all of it, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I got ready for this thing, so I was more ripped and muscular than I ever been. Well, shit, man, I'm just still a fucking, you know,
young kid still.
I'm still a fucking kind of a not too well do kid that grew up kind of rough here and there. So free anything, I'm enjoying that, right? Especially food. They got this craft table out. I couldn't help it, man. I started eating away. And I just got like, you know, one thing I got like a little slice of turkey, walked away. Shit, man, 5 minutes later, I mean, the taste is there. It's free. What are you going to do? You know, I turn around, I go back and get some more. I kept doing this, but we started filming at like 6, 7 o'clock at night. We're filming at night from sundown to sun up.
So you're just eating the whole time.
For 6 or 7 hours, I'm fucking eating, you know? By the time it came time for me to film my scene, I was bloated as fuck, man. You know, I was working to suck my stomach in. You know, and everybody knows that. Anybody knows that fights when you cut weight, and that's how I got ready for this role. I got ready for it like I was getting ready for a fight. So I'm cutting weight, I'm training, I'm dieting and whatnot. And you know, like as soon as you get done with your weigh-ins, you go eat. So you put all that weight back on, and you feel really thick. And that's exactly what happened, man. So like within a span of like 4 or 5 hours, man. Shit, man, I probably put on 15 pounds or something.
Can't even breathe. You're like, oh.
I couldn't breathe, man. I couldn't breathe. This shit was horrible. I was sucking in my stomach, trying to kick. It was crazy, man. So yeah, man. But it was a really cool experience. And then the following night, I rode my motorcycle in too, and you know, he told me to, you know, park there, getting ready to do the scene where he's driving in. I said, hey, you want the motorcycle in there? And the guy was like, I don't know. let me call real quick. And so he made a phone call. He's like, hey, I got this guy on his motorcycle. He's willing to be in the scene with his motorcycle. You want him in there? They're like, yeah, sure, bring him. So I ended up getting a motorcycle scene in there too, which is pretty cool. It's not in the movie, but it's in the. If you get the DVD, it's in the deleted scenes.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. So that's real cool. But the crazy thing is, man. So like a year later, the movie comes out. In this time, I moved from Boston to Arizona, and I moved just because, property's cheaper. One of the main reasons I moved was because the guns, all the guns I had there, and being in Massachusetts like that, I was going to end up getting.
And you have a business that you're starting to put together and all that.
Yeah, I was going to end up getting in trouble, So I moved to Arizona, and this movie gets released, right?
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about it. I mean, it's one of the biggest things I've probably done in my life. And I'm really proud of that, right? Just how it went. Like, I beat out the 2,000 people for this role and get to meet all these stars, Kevin James and Henry Winkler and Bass Rutten and whatnot. I'm chatting it up with them, hours at a time and whatnot. So I'm real excited about this movie coming out. And the way that we filmed it, it took 4 hours just to do this one scene. And they had the cameras all up on me, and I actually choreographed the fight. And I'm really excited to see this part in the movie, right? So,
yeah.
Movie comes out, I go to an early, you got the early showings. I do the early showing. I get there, I'm watching the movie. My scene is like within the first 15 minutes. The shit was like 10 seconds long, and it wasn't even any close-ups of me. I was so pissed. The most screen time I had out of that whole thing was my name scrolling up in the credits.
So they took you out, basically.
It's horrible, man. Like if you don't understand film, you don't understand how many scenes hit the chopping block or don't get featured in the way that they want, the way that you think they would.
Yeah.
And so I mean, probably the thing I'm most proud about is my name being in the damn in the end credits there, and the damn deleted scenes that's on the DVD.
It's something though, right?
Go figure. It's cool, man, because it's on my resume. It's on IMDb. So I was happy about that. But that set me up for The Purge, and it set me up for Fast and Furious 8. And then I was requested to do Venom. I couldn't do Venom because I was in Puerto Rico at the time, which is funny because they wanted me to play a mercenary, which is kind of somewhat what you're a hired gun, basically, what I was doing. So that's real interesting, which kind of that's the one that probably bothers me the most, because I saw the role that I could have been in, and that maybe would have been a large break for me, So
yeah.
But I'd like to get back to it though, at some point. But shit, man, I'm working. Making a lot of money. I'm doing a lot of money right now. So
what role did you have in Fast and Furious 8?
It's called the Super Jet Guard. And it's funny because in the scene I can see myself just for a blip, but again, it's just for a blip, so you can't tell. But it was real cool. Got to meet Vin Diesel. A lot of my scenes got taken out, and then they stopped in between, halfway through the filming. So I was there for 8 days. Filming. And I did a lot of shoots, but then with the reason they stopped, they looked at us and they said, "Yeah, this is what's wrong. You resemble him too much to be in the same scene with him."
Yeah.
So that shit kind of got fucked up, It's just
yeah.
Especially if you imagine.
Shit, I'll wear a hat. I'll wear a wig or something.
Well, I did start saying that, I did start saying that. So I don't, but that one was real interesting too. That was cool. I had a really good time. So the scenes that were on the airplane, that were the scenes that I was supposed to be in, but never made it. But the thing is that even though I was there and I did do the scenes and film, and you still get paid. So
yeah, that's all that matters, right?
The Purge was really the picture in the background you have there. The Purge was really cool.
Yeah.
Meeting Frank Grillo was really cool, man. was really cool. And me and him chatted up for a little while. Matter of fact, I tried to put a gun into his hand. Actually, I was telling him about my business, and I was talking to the guys about props and whatnot, as far as my guns go. I tried to put a gun into his hand. He was all excited for a second. Then he remembered. He's like, "Shit, I can't do." He's like, "Man, I'm a felon. I can't own a gun." So he was all
Like
excited
me.
about it at first. He's like, "Yeah, I guess." So people don't know, like Frank Grillo. He was. I didn't know this about him, but he was telling me. He ended up. He ended up getting some type of charge when he was working on Wall Street. Doing whatever he was doing on Wall Street there. It was interesting. I had to look it up. And
Some
sure enough,
financial thing.
yeah, sure. Yeah, that's what he was doing before he got into acting. Sure enough was true. But that one was really cool, dealing with those guys and the makeup and everything. And you see the spot there with me with the blood, on my head there. I get killed there. That was a real fun time, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the part on the left, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was part of Frank's security team there, guarding the senator or something like that. That he got hired for that role there.
They didn't cut your scene out of that one, right?
They cut my scene out of that one too, man. I can't get a break.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I was all wet. They had me. I got killed, and I was laying down, man. So we were filming. This had to be October. It was October in Rhode Island at night, right about this time of the year. So it was getting kind of cold. And I get killed, and it had rained. It had rained earlier, or so like that. And so there was a puddle of water I had to lay down in, and I was freezing my fucking ass off, man. Shit was crazy. I got all wet and bloodied up for nothing.
Some things you got to do for the check, man, right?
Yeah, but again, so it went in order. It went. Here Comes the Boom, Fast and Furious. No, Here Comes the Boom, The Purge, and then Fast and Furious. So that set me up for the Fast and Furious. And I mean, I could go back and do any of this stuff at any time I feel like doing it.
Yeah, if you decide to really go for it as a career.
Yeah, getting a principal role, which is really cool. A lot of those scenes where you see guys, say like an action movie where it's kind of like a main antagonist, but doesn't have really a speaking role or anything like that, but you continue to see them throughout the movie. That's the principal role. You get screen credit. You get screen credit for that stuff.
In my future going forward, man, I'm really focused on trying to be involved with movies and series and all that.
The interesting thing when it comes to movies is there's a character for everybody. So like, say far as like modeling goes, you might not be able to model, say, with tattoos on your face and stuff, right? But in a movie, they might have the special. You might fit the perfect description of what they're looking for.
Yeah, they could just put makeup on this shit, take it right off.
They could put makeup on it or take it off or whatever. But they might actually want to feature that though. They'd be like, okay, cool. So there's a lot of movies, especially like in that I noticed, like in Here Comes the Boom. There were guys that had like tats, like their whole face were tatted, and they had these guys for certain roles. And this is how some of these guys that may be involved with certain stuff, maybe growing up, end up getting out of that and becoming an actor. There's a couple guys, matter of fact, in like Fast and Furious from like the first few ones, that I know that were
don't they have like an agency?
Or stuff? But matter of fact, a perfect story is what's his name from gosh, man,
Jetty.
Yes, him.
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo, yes.
Danny Trejo, yes.
Perfect story of that right there.
Cuzzo's coming back on soon. I gotta reach out to him, see how he's been. I talk to him every couple days, but he'll definitely be on again. And so damn, you've been through a lot of things, man, in life. I mean, we could do a 20-part series on your life. and we still won't be done.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy, man. And I really I'm grateful, and I look back at it, man. It's real interesting. I mean, I'd like to get somewhere where I had, or where I am, like, say, like, nationally recognized or something, which is cool. But for me at this point right now in my life, I mean, I would like to get there like that. But for me, it's also at the same time, at this point in my life, I'm very, very content of like where I'm at, because I've done a lot of shit. I mean, and it's all real.
Yeah.
Nothing's fabricated here.
Yeah, but
And
look
I've
where
been
you came from your friend breaking into
right,
that car to
right,
where
right.
you are in life now. It's crazy.
Well, I was going to say that, it's just like, growing up and being where I was at, and then being involved with, certain groups and certain friends and whatnot, and those things happening and ending up where I am right now is, it really is just a blessing. Well, a lot of it has to do with just, you know, wanting to do the things I wanted to do. I've done almost everything I wanted to do as a kid. And I mean, I think there's where people kind of get fulfilled at, like whatever you wanted to do as a kid or whatnot, like just go do it, be it. You only get one life. You only get one life to do the things that you want to do, and be it is who you want to be, who it is you want to be. So it's kind of weird. Like, I grew up, like I said, I grew up on the action hero. I saw, I mean, just from the time I was a kid, like Knight Rider.
Yeah.
I love Knight Rider. You got this one guy that, but I own like three Trans Ams. I love Kit. I've had three Trans Ams in my life, and there's the first car I ever bought. I bought it when I was 14.
Got a Camaro.
Yeah, see, you're like close to it, right? It's like
close enough.
So it's like that, then fucking G.I. Joe and shit like that, and then watching all these Commando and Predator and these military Rambo and shit like that. I wanted to be this kick-ass soldier. I joined the military. But then, like, watching Rocky and all these, kickboxer and all this shit, I wanted to be a fighter. So I ended up doing that, And the thing is that I've done it at like high levels, So there's just these things, that I've wanted to do, and then understanding like acting and being in the movies. I wanted to do that, so I've touched on that a little bit, and I think if you have the means to be able to do something that you wanted to do, just go fucking do it, because you'll always wonder what it would have been if you had. You always have that thought process in your head. That thought like, what if I did this, or if I just tried it out? You'll never know until you do. And I think people will be
just
fulfilled.
like me with this, man. I stepped off the ledge with this. I didn't know if this was gonna work or not.
Right, but it's something that interested you. You had idea. And I remember hearing a quote. I don't remember where I heard it, and I don't know if people are religious. That's a whole nother topic or whatnot. But if you get a thought in your head, whether it's just a thought in your head or it comes from higher, above, or whatever the case is, you don't have dreams and ideas in your head for no reason. You have the ideas and dreams in your head because that's what's supposed to happen. Like they say, like God doesn't give you dreams in order for you not to embark on it. It's almost the same saying as saying God doesn't give you more than you can handle.
Yeah,
it's the same concept. You didn't get the dream for you not to chase it.
And that's what I'm doing, man.
So
I mean,
and I think people become most fulfilled in chasing their dreams. And that's where the money comes too, for the most part. You do what you like.
All that will come after, man. You do what you love, and the money comes after, right?
Right. Because it comes natural. It comes natural. You'll be good at what it is you do.
Or you could just put the Cash App thing right here. That one's for Lee Cole.
Hit this man. Hit this man so it can keep his show going and grow his show.
Yo, there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with getting donations for what you do, man. I put in a lot of work to this. This is not like, it's not like I don't
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, like we were talking about last time. The more you do, the better you get at it. The better you get at it, the results you see, the more you do.
Yeah.
It feeds itself.
And the more people that are irrelevant want to critique you and you should do this and that, and they think they got all the answers, but
if they had all their answers, they'd have their own show.
Take your own damn advice.
But here's the thing.
You do have their own show, but they think they know what should be.
Check this out though, right? The majority of people, 99% of people that have their own thing that's going on, you won't ever get critique from them. You'll get support. The people that don't have anything or don't have what you have are the ones that actually don't give you the support and critique you for shit. People that are already, because success breeds success.
Yeah,
it's a positive movement. It's a positive thing or whatnot, So people that are positive, they're hard workers or whatnot. They're going to motivate you to continue to do that same thing.
Damien said, "Who's the real pizza man?"
Oh, Damien's the real pizza man. Damien's a real pizza man. Man, we and him were talking the other day. It was really funny, man. So back to one of the fight things, So like me and Damien, we just got done training over there in Brighton, where Y Crew Gym is at, down in the basement. This was such a lovely place at the time. I mean, at that time, when me and him were on the team together, I mean, we ran the MMA show there in New England. I mean, people couldn't fuck with us, So we're all dialed in shape, lean, and we're functioning at a high level. I mean, we're competing at UFC level, fighting and training with UFC fighters and whatnot. And fucking, we leave the gym a little late, and we're walking down the street. And at the time, Damien was living just a few streets over from the gym. Well, in between this area, there's like 5 or 6 clubs. And we're walking, and some fucking guy, I don't know what his problem was, I don't know, thought it would be funny or cool to fuck with Damien. I don't know what it was. I have no idea. You should be able to see, the Lord gives you things to notice not to fuck with people. Like a dog pulls his teeth back. We have cauliflower ear and shit. These are nature signs that there's certain people that there's nature signs. There's some people you don't fuck with, they're well versed in certain,
you get
certain
those
skill
from
level.
Getting popped hard enough, it'll swell, right?
Well, getting punched, or especially doing jujitsu and your ear gets rubbed on the gi real hard, it rips that skin, and the skin comes detached from the cartilage, and then blood fills up in it,
and
so
it just stays in there.
Yeah, it stays in there, hardens. We try to drain it. We try to drain it out, man, but a lot of times you're unsuccessful with doing it. It just fills back up.
I've seen some pretty bad ones. It's pretty wild.
Anyways, this kid decides to grab this. Damien got some pizza from the pizza store. We're walking, I don't know, 20 yards. And some goofy kid standing outside the damn club waiting to get in there. He grabs the pizza out of Damien's hand.
Bad fucking move. Bad move, man.
Why would you do that to anyone? But at least if you're going to do something like that, at least look at the person, at least size the person up before you do something like that, right? I'll tell you what, they had a couple words. They had a couple words, not many. They didn't have many. They just had a couple words. And Damien let this fucking nasty ass leg kick the shit out of it. Oh man, he kicked him right in his leg, man. You watch this kid's leg fold. It was that's what I remember about that. But it was just dumb shit, Damien's always
getting the pizza back. Did he get the pizza back?
It was done, man. It was done. He didn't have no more pizza. He was pissed.
Well, man, it's been a great day, man, and thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man. I try to be a little more entertaining next time, man. Hopefully with my stories, you know.
Man, you're entertaining every time, man.
Yeah, we got some.
Needless to say, he never did look at pizza the same again.
I know he
believe
didn't.
that.
I know he didn't. I mean, here's the thing. Damien came on last time. And he was talking about, how he used to train and whatnot. And like at the time when he was fighting, most of his fights were he fought at 155. So he's smaller. So he's a smaller guy. He's lighter. But here's the crazy thing with Damien. Damien hits like a fuck, like he's got bricks in his, like he's got bricks. He's like heavy. He's like heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Which is he's heavy. I don't know. He's heavy-handed. His hands. I remember his hands kind of being like pretty, like pretty. He's heavy-handed.
Yes, he got big hands, man. They're like
solid.
Yeah.
He's heavy-handed and he's got really good leg kicks too, man. And I just know, especially if you're not
his leg bent back.
It did. It folded sideways. It wasn't good. That kid definitely probably had a hematoma from hell for a couple weeks. Like I wouldn't want to be
painful. I heard it's bad.
I wouldn't want to get hit with a leg kick. I don't like getting hit with leg kicks. Period. Say in a fight. And being a fighter myself, but I couldn't imagine being a normal, regular person and getting hit with this leg kick like that. Never feeling something like that before. No. I can't imagine. You can't imagine what went through his head when he got hit with that shit. The surprise he got,
I don't want to feel that. Fuck that. I felt enough blows in my life to learn my lesson.
Yeah, but what's funny, man? I was just gonna say though is that that was one of those situations when I was over there in the military with that fucking phone card that they were looking at me pretty heavily as far as chaptering me out, and I just trying to get myself right when I got back, because that was enough. It's like they couldn't do anything with the guys that stuck to the damn story. And when we got back, they're looking to chapter me out. Like I said, I just told the LT that I was gonna walk a straight and narrow for the most part. And but a couple more things happened. We can talk more about that on another one.
Definitely, man.
Yeah. The flag.
Did you read that?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember. Oh, Damien's talking about a whole nother situation, a recent situation. Damn. I don't know how much time you got, man. I don't know how much time you got. If you want to save it for another time, man.
Why was it bad? This is a good one.
It's really good, actually. It's really good.
You want to tell it, man? Go ahead.
I can tell it. So, everybody knows this kid.
He said, "Don't speak on it."
Don't. Oh man. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Should he tell it? Should he tell it, Damien?
I was just about to say that. I sent the kid on a wild goose chase, man. I do fuck with people when I get the opportunity to. I do fuck with. So, anyways, fuck this motherfucker, man. Anyways, this dude, Tyler King. Everybody knows him. Anyways, man, there's a time, man. Me and him sparred, and it was horrible, man, because the kid just has like not very good stand up, and bigger kid, and we sparred. Everybody was like, take it easy on him. He's not really good with stand up, And so I was fucking him. He wore his headgear and everything, Fucking I don't know, what to call him. wore his headgear.
Thank you,
And
Elizabeth. I appreciate that. Thank you.
yes, she showed up last time.
Yeah,
Very generous.
I have
Appreciate her.
faithful supporters.
I appreciate her supporting you, man. It's awesome. Thank you as well. And we sparred, and I rocked this kid's world big time. And so we were cool, man.
What,
But then,
you let him have it?
yes and no. Like, I was being nice, but I still this kid's level was just so bad at stand up that there's no other way to.
Teach him a lesson. Yeah,
he was
right?
He was getting it either way, but I didn't turn it fully up on him. Anyways, this kid gets knocked out all the time. I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, just to his defense, he is an athlete. He played pro football. So he played college football. He played pro football. Then he went to fighting, and the amount of concussions that he's had and the CTE that he has, it really has affected him. But like in the moment when he's like getting his side, when he's getting a certain way, it just pushes you to the point to be like, man, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you up. And screw you. So, anyways. Me and him, this kid keep arguing back and forth. This kid's getting kind of belligerent with certain things. He just doesn't know when to shut up. Kid believes I'm still in Boston, and we're talking back and forth. And this kid gets so fucking worked up because he's talking all this shit. And I keep talking to him like, yeah, man, like, well, what can you say to me? Like, I already fucked you up in the ring, and and like you're a fucking baby wearing the headgear and all this shit. Like fucking, what grown man, what grown man at this level like wears headgear? And so, anyways, we're going back and forth, and he's talking all kinds of shit, and then he gets so riled up, he says he wants to meet me in a park somewhere. And I used to live in Winthrop. Massachusetts, and there's Deer Island out there, the water towers and whatnot. So he pauses, like, "Oh yeah, I'll come meet you wherever you're at," and talking, cash money shit. Don't get me wrong.
He's thinking what? Because you're outside the gym, he's gonna be different. It's gonna be different.
I don't know what yeah, exactly. I don't know what he's thinking. And if anything, if anybody knows me, it's gonna be worse.
Because you're not going to let up on him. You're going to like really give it to him.
No, because we're not playing by sport rules.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything goes at that point. And what you've heard about me and what you know about me, you can just leave that up to your imagination.
Yeah, but you seem like a guy that would be pretty fair at a fight, fighting's fighting, man. People sucker punch each other all the time. Somebody's got to swing first.
Yeah, there's all, Hey, my thing is this: if you're not fighting inside the ring or the cage for a sporting reason, you're trying to kill the other person. There's no way around it. You're trying to hurt the person. This isn't a sporting event.
Yeah.
So it goes to the extreme.
Yeah.
So I'll leave you with that.
Come on, we're not gonna hear the extreme, man. We want to hear it, bro.
I'm not gonna say it. I know there's certain things you don't talk about, right? Yeah. So anyways, this kid says, "Oh, I'll meet you wherever," and I said, "Okay, well, meet me at Deer Island. Meet me up here behind the water towers or whatever." This fucking kid drives out to Deer Island, right? And it's actually blocked off. So he gets out. He's got his mouthpiece. He's videoing me. He's videoing me on Facebook because at this point we're friends. But like, when someone fucks with me, like I don't let up. Like you're gonna fuck with me on social media, I'm gonna troll you until you fucking delete me.
Yeah.
Until you tuck your tail and delete me like a bitch. I'm gonna fuck with you. You shouldn't have fucked with me like that. I'm gonna fuck your shit up all day long. Every post you make, I'm gonna be there doing something stupid, and antagonizing you.
Yeah.
And So this kid meets me. He's like, "Where are you?" I'm down here. He's walking around the neighborhood with his mouthpiece and shit, man. I'm like, "I'm up here on the hill. Where are you?" He's like, "I'm down here. See, you're a bitch. You didn't show up." I was like, "No, I'm here. You're just in the wrong place. Where are you?" He's walking around on the sidewalks in the streets. I said, "Man, why don't you come up here?" I said, "You're talking all that shit. If you weren't so scared, you'd come up. You'd come up to the hill. You come up to behind the damn water towers, like I said. This is where we're supposed to be at. So why don't you come up here?" So this kid walks up there, walks back down, can't find me. I tell him like, "Oh, you must have been in the wrong spot." He walks back up there. This is going on like 3 hours. It's like 10:30. It's 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
It's 10:30 at night. He's out there in Winthrop, walking around this fucking neighborhood with his mouthpiece, looking to think he's gonna have some MMA fight in the grass somewhere behind a water tower.
Yeah.
So then I make a video, and it happens to have the sun in the background and everything. And I said, "Where are you?" I said, "I thought you were supposed to be at." He's like, "Where are you? You're not here." And I was like, "Yeah, I told you to show up at Deer Island. I don't know where you're at. I'm here." And I said, and it's got the sun in the background. It's pitch black. Obviously, I'm not there. I said, "Deer Island? Oh, Deer Island, Winthrop? I thought you meant Deer Island, Arizona. What are you doing, bro?" What the fuck's going on?
You're in another state. It's like
I was fucking 3,000 miles away.
Sleeping in your bed, nice and quiet, right?
I said, "Oh, my bad." I said, "My bad, man. I didn't know you fucking. I didn't mean to send you on this wild goose chase. I just wasted like 3 or 4 hours of your time. There's 3 or 4 hours of your time you weren't being an asshole to somebody else. You fuck. I don't know." It was definitely a good laugh at the time, because I mean everybody was watching it, man. There's probably like 100 people watching this thing.
Oh, because he had a bunch of people on the live, right?
Yeah, he had a bunch of people, like he saw us going back and forth. Everybody's commenting and chiming in, and he's making videos and shit, and everyone's looking at it. And so there I go, and then I posted the video to his page. Made him look really fucking stupid, man. I mean, this motherfucker drove out there. So
did he block you after that?
He did block me after that.
Mission accomplished, man.
I just beat you. I just beat you at your own game. He loves to talk shit to people. He loves to get under people's skin, and it's like, okay, well, that's the name of the game. I'm game.
Shout out to Double Dare.
But I sent this kid on a fucking. I mean, where he was coming from was like a half hour, 45-minute drive. Had to pay the tolls and everything.
Oh man.
I mean, what were you what was? I'd like to know what he was thinking driving home. I would have liked to have been there for that, in his head for that one,
Wasted gas, all kinds of shit, man.
Probably wanted to kill me.
It's like the scene from Enter the Dragon.
Probably wanted
winning a fight without fighting.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, that's what Damien was saying.
It's perfect.
Put him on the boat, send him out there. That's exactly what he was thinking, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Dubs, man. It's my boy J Dubs with Double Dare.
What's up,
Go
man?
check out his channel, man. He's got some dope shit. He does music reviews. He does interviews. Go check
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. I appreciate everybody that comes here, supports your show. I think it's really cool, man. Everything that you're doing, the people that you got on. Say fuck the naysayers. Keep doing your thing.
Of course, man.
I think it's gonna blow up. I mean, any way I can support you, I come on here, tell some of my crazy little bits of my life or whatever.
Yeah, man.
Because the shit is comical, man. You can look back on it, man. Like, damn, that shit was goofy, man. I mean, I have a good time in the midst of all my shit,
Yeah, I got good people on my side, man. Damien, everybody, Chicky, all my friends, man. J Dubs. I got a good set of dudes around me,
Yeah.
Code of the Street, shout out to him. Bobby Luisi, all of them, man. I got a lot of people that are good people. And,
So what do we got on the what do we got on the plate for next time?
man, I got tons of stuff. Oh, with
What you think?
we're
Yeah.
gonna do
What are we getting into next time?
oh, we got some stuff to talk about that
What
we
you
haven't
think?
got into yet.
All
What's
right.
your Facebook for the people that don't know? Or do you have a social media that you are
Well,
usually on?
I got my Instagram, which is Hawkins E. I don't really do the Facebook one too much, you know, but I do have it. I have it up as Abram Tusker. Abrams for the M1 Abrams that I drove, and then Tusker, which was my unit name.
You want to tell the people about your business?
Again, you know, I gotta wait till I get back. Really, you know. I mean, here's the thing. You know, I got a firearms business. I produce AR-15s and AR-10s, different calibers. I am a manufacturer, so I have a manufacturer's license. I haven't put any product out right now, but I do have a lot of product that's waiting to be assembled as soon as I get back from this assignment that I'm on right now. So, you know, anybody that can have one, anybody that can have one, and you live in a state that allows you to have it, doesn't have some crazy fuck rules and stuff like that, get at me. I'll happily put one together for you.
Simplify. This dude says Marshall Dealings. It says simplify,
Hey,
yo.
hoorah, hoorah,
And all that good stuff.
hoorah.
Well, thank you for your service and all that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We'll talk further. We'll talk further about more about the military, man. Different situations there, man. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you,
I love to
man.
talk about it, man.
Yeah, next time we'll get into it more. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, man. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we go?
Oh shit, man! I blanked out for a minute. I was just, no, I just want to shout out to the military folks, everybody that's supporting your channel. Please bring more people to the channel. Like, you know, help this man build his business. You know, everyone's got to support and uplift everybody. I mean, it's what all other communities do. You know, it needs to be done here. So I appreciate Staxx having me on and having a platform for me to even be up here and to talk. It's about my stories and different stuff like that, man. You know, I feel good. It's one of the more exciting things I've done. Again, I mean, it's right up there with doing the acting stuff, man. It's really no different, you know, than any of it, you know. So
yeah, I love doing this stuff, man. Great.
I'm having a cool time. Shout out to my boy Damien. Appreciate Damien. Always there. We and him got to get on. We got to do a show together sometime.
Yeah,
Definitely got to do a show
man.
together. But I'm definitely looking. You know, he's starting to train again. It's kind of weird, man. Things go in spurts. It's really I don't know what it is. It's interesting. Like me and him could not talk for a while.
It picks up right where it left off, right?
Well, it's kind of weird. It's like we almost go through the same shit around the same time, like spurts and stuff like that.
And you're not even around each other, but you're just
right in communication. So it's like I start feeling that itch for fighting and training again, and like there he is, same thing, you know. Or say I get away from it, he's kind of gotten away, and it's weird.
It could be because you guys spent so much time together that you're like on the same cycle of that.
Right. I don't. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know, man, but it's pretty interesting. I noticed that, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, just the military guys I serve with. You know, I gave a shout out to my boy King and Jimmy last time. Give a shout out to my boy Ty. My boy Eric Sergeant Petrovicus. That's been one of my guys to hold me down. Really interesting guy too. I'm gonna try to put you guys in touch too. Yeah, he's owned a few schools himself, competes himself as well. He was a tanker as well. He ran an MMA league actually out in the West Coast, up in Seattle.
Damn.
He ran a whole MMA league and ran a security company and stuff, and you know, just more things to pull from, and more stories, because that guy's definitely got some damn stories to tell for sure. you know, and
Definitely,
he's
man.
pretty entertaining, you know. So just shout out to those people, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get it. We'll
Shout
get
out
it
to
done, man.
the world. Shout out to the world. Shout out to the
Thank you,
world.
bro. Thank you again, man. And make sure you go check out part 1 of this interview. It's pretty dope. It links up with this interview. It all connects together. So make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time, man. Peace. Thank you, man.